I just found I got the best results. I'll take some screenshots, try and upload them to my Twitter, and I got the best results from the 3 screens if I used the bezel width, well, with the screen without bezel to be the same as the screen with bezel. So obviously the screen with without bezel is 21 inches like any other 24-inch monitor, but it just seems so much smoother like this. There's no jump from monitor to monitor. It just seems to smoothly glide behind the bezel as if it was just a bar or, you know, something in the way of the screen rather than it being a divider. I apologise if my responses are slow during the race. Obviously the text is nowhere near the track, so to have a look down at it is a little bit like suicide during the race. Hopefully as the laps go on, my confidence in the car grows and I can push on a little bit. I'll try and focus on keeping the third place at the moment and see what we can do from there. I don't have the same amount of experience in this car as some of the cars maybe, so not the ideal gear, but it's a 50-minute race, so I'm not going to defend too much against this guy behind me. I seem to be comfortable at this pace. If I try pushing too much harder, potentially just doing my own race from it. I'm not sure if I've taken enough fuel either to get to the end, so. I started with 20 gallons. I'm not sure it's full fuel for this car. Oh, it is, so yeah. If I have to piss, I'll somebody else. Okay. So I always end up in this dilemma when racing. I always seem to be slightly faster than the guys behind me, and slightly slower than the guys in front of me. So unfortunately for you guys, I end up lapping on my own like this until either the guys in front of me make a mistake or I make a mistake. The message I'm getting from my mind every time I come into a braking zone is correct. I'll be spinning every corner, so don't worry too much. There'll be a race at some point. Every time I come into the braking zone, I'm sure I'm too late on the brakes. It's my lack of experience in the car. You know, I don't know when the tyres are going to fall off. I've not done any race stints. I feel that's practice today. I figured I'd get into a race because practice is boring for you guys to watch. I'm on Twitter as well, guys, so for any notifications of when it is that I'm maybe streaming and events during the 2014 seasons, if you give me a follow on Twitter, that's Sim Racing Dalton, whatever know me own name. But it's the same on YouTube and the same as on Twitch. So if you've got a Twitter account, give us a follow on there. I will be posting notifications as to when I will be doing races and when I'm streaming. So that'll keep up to date with that. So some of you might remember me from Andy_iRacing, that's my own channel, and the reason I've been away is I've been changing all of my rig. I've just got a full new rig. I've gone from an open wheeler cockpit to a GT Omega cockpit with triple monitor stands. I've gone from a single 42 inch to triple 24 inch, and I've just not had the time or the experience with my equipment to be streaming. I've been crashing a lot. The system's not really been powerful enough to run the stream and the constant FPS during the race. So now that I've got a kind of mild overclock on my system, which allows me to do both, I will be doing so a little bit more now. But I've got the GT Omega rig, and I've got a choice of a few chairs, which is a new thing from them. They've got some new seats that they're selling. I was the first person to get a choice of seat, and also I'm the first person with their new triple monitor stands. So I chose a nice looking black leather one. I think there's a picture already on my Twitter as my profile picture. And I chose a nice looking black leather one. But it's winter and it's cold, and I'm still sweating whenever I race in it. Even if I'm not racing, I'm sat in it, and the seat just generates so much heat. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to need to get some form of cover or something. I'm definitely going to need a fan to keep me cool while I'm racing here. I don't know whether it's the smaller confines of where I'm racing now, because I've got 3 screens pushed almost to get to my face, and they're obviously generating a bit of heat. I don't know whether it's that or the leather seat, or the fact that I've got the heating on due to it being winter. I have no idea, but I cannot stay cool while I'm racing. I suppose it gives it an added real factor. The guys always say when they're racing, the cockpit is just absolutely red hot. Well, it's that alright, nice and warm. So I'm just shy of using a quarter of my fuel, and we're 15 minutes into a 50-minute race, so it seems like we probably won't be able to get that point. However, as we get further in, we will probably need to take more care with the tyres, so they're going to lose grip. Not really able to push back as hard. So how is it, guys, not being able to see the steering wheel? Because obviously I have my steering wheel roughly where the in-sim wheel would be. I've got the graphic turned off for it. Is it something you would recommend turning back on just for the so you guys get a better feel of what's going on, or is it fine without the steering wheel graphic on? Thank you. Ah, that's good then. Yeah, I know if I was to be watching this and I didn't have my steering wheel at least where, you know, there was one, it looks a tad weird, so I could understand for some people. So I might have to start pushing the brake bias forward a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of rear lock up there. We'll see how that gets on. I mean, it's just overheated a rear tyre. I'm locking up my rears, then I'm generating too much heat back there, and that's also going to make a difference when I try and accelerate out of the corners. So it's best to be not locking up if you can get away with that. So it looks like the guy in front of me there is having a little bit of trouble with a lap car. Maybe he decided he was going to try and race him, or you know, there was something else he was going to do. The problem is around this track, as you can see, I'm running 1 minute 34s, 1 minute 33s, maybe 1 minute 32s when I can. But the fast guys in the McLaren are also running 136 or 135s. My fastest is a 136. I've seen 135s, and that's not a lot of time to be gained over a full lap, so you don't get a lot of room to try and pass these guys. So if they want to try and put up a fight or to to be a pain in the backside. You know, they can definitely do that. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. I've noticed as well, I've got company coming up on the rear. I was in a practice session with this guy and he is pretty quick. I just have to carry on going at this pace. You know, I don't really have much more pace in this car. Not at the moment. I can do more practice and become quicker, but at the minute I'm going about as quick as I can, so I just have to see how this plays out. Maybe traffic will play against me, maybe traffic will play for me, maybe I'll make a mistake. I just have to stay calm, stay consistent, and play it as we see it. As you can see, he's taking quite a lot of time out of me. He's running considerably faster than I am. I have no intention of trying to defend against him because it's just going to result in me getting crashed into or something else. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Can I ask as well, guys, how's the scrolling text at the top? Because I had that on my old channel as well, but now I've realised from watching other people's races that covers up the race incidents, also covers up the driver text. I have no background on there to try and make it easier for you guys to see whether I have an off track or a contact with a car, or you know, whether somebody's saying something. How is it? Can you make out what's being said and things like that? I also realised that my SR Dalton logo does cover where the flags go, so if there's a local yellow, things like that, it will be behind that. But I do think you can see enough of the flag once you know that it's going to appear there to see it and not really have it affect you too much. I got excited when I saw that Riley then and thought maybe I'd caught up to Stephen, but it just appears we're now coming around to like the first Riley. It appears Stephen's maintaining his lead of between 9 and 12 seconds. So. Thank you, Cody. I do need to make sure I change my my driver channels back as well. I haven't done it since I got the new setup, but I need to. I need to put the spotter and the in-game chat back onto the default channel, just because then it allows you guys to hear everything. At the moment I have it on separate channels because my mic has two channels. I can adjust the volume personally. It just means you guys can't hear the spotter or the other guys in chat. Quite a lot of the time as well, the in-game chat, especially when racing on the ovals, is a lot more amusing than I am. Maybe I'm coming into the hairpin a little too fast, but I'm definitely getting a bit of understeer on the exit, so try and maybe take a later entry in, or try and slow it down a little bit more, just to try and eliminate some of that understeer, sorry. Thanks, Richard. If you are watching, guys, and you think you'd like to see more videos like this, I do take part in organised races at the weekends. During the week I take part in a British Touring Car / World Touring Car event using the Kia Optima. I take part in quite a lot of events during each week. In 2014 just seems like maybe it's going to be even more cram-packed, full of events, especially in the early months. We've got the Daytona 500, Daytona 2.4, we've got quite a lot of events. Also with the release of the new car, the Rough, we're going to be doing quite a lot in the first couple of months of next year, so make sure you do give us a follow. It's going to be interesting. Now I don't know whether there's been an incident between cars or what's going on there, but fourth place seems to have fallen well off. It was within a handful of seconds at one point, but now he's definitely not within 25, so that releases a lot of pressure. Seems like I'm a little bit more confident of passing traffic, so if we can get Stephen into a big huddle of cars, we might make quite a lot of room there. So that's when I see I gain time on him during traffic, and then he spreads his legs again when the track's empty. So fingers crossed, especially since we're coming up to the faster McLaren drivers, it's going to be a little bit harder to pass if they're racing. They're not going to want to get out of the way. So fingers crossed. But if I finish this race in third, it's a lot higher than I anticipated. So I won't be pushing to the point where I could potentially ruin my own race. Just anything you can think that would improve the quality of the stream, guys, other than obviously the mic volume. I'll try and get that sorted as soon as. The problem is that with the ever-changing volume of the cars, it's hard to get a solid mic that kind of fits in rather than overpowering the car or the car overpowering it. I'll try and set up maybe some shortcut keys so that I can adjust the boosts in the session, so that if it is a bit quiet you guys can tell me about it. But is there anything else you think you'd like to see? I know there's iRacing banner, flicker, or whatever it's, ticker, which relays the driver positions. I could also, in the background of iSpeed running, I could broadcast a part of iSpeed over the top, and that would give you guys an indication of speed, of gear, or fuel usage, my last laps, my splits, anything like that. I can kind of blur that over the top. I don't like to play my in-sim iRacing splits because it just does my head in, having it up there all the time, especially at this point in a race. There's no way you can be running competitive with your fastest times, so it's just disappointing. Also, would the virtual mirror, would that make it better for you guys? I know in this car you can see a little bit of the left-handed mirror there, but in some of the cars you can't see that. In regards to the splits, I can definitely do something with iSpeed to relay my splits. I won't be able to see what you guys see, but I can definitely play it over the top. I'll just bang it in one of the corners. That'll display, split times and how I'm doing in comparison to my optimal or my best lap. And that's quite good because it shows you your best lap as per session. So you'll have a different best and optimal for the race than you do in qualifying and practice. So that's really good. The problem is with iRacing is once you've got a good qualifying time under you, there's no way you can stay anywhere near your optimal. Now I know you can use session optimal or session best, but it just kind of puts me off a little bit, puts a bit too much pressure on you. You start to push harder than what your car's actually capable of at that current time during the race. Yeah, I definitely find it more helpful than the other ones, but like I say, you know, I prefer to hear it. If there was an audio to tell you whether you was going faster during one split, like high speed does, it'll say, you know, plus 0.2 or minus 0.2, and it'll give you an indication of what's going on without you actually visually having something that can put you off. You know, I just find them a lot more consistent with it like this. So you can see, since from the start of the race I've kind of been running 33.6s up to 34.5s without traffic, so you know, my times are pretty consistent without the relative there to show me what I'm doing. But yeah, I can see how from a spectator's point of view it's definitely something that you could enjoy seeing. So I'll try and sort something out there with high speed and have an overlay, probably in the bottom left hand corner, since I can get rid of the driving information there with the gear, the speed and the steering wheel, and it'll cover the least. So I can probably get it down there in the bottom left hand corner for you guys, so it's inside the car, or I can maybe even try and display it in a way that it runs right across the bottom of the screen. That might be better for you. But I'll mess about with it a little bit. I'll try and work something out. If any of you guys are familiar with high speed, if there's any modules out there that you'd like to see, just let me know. I'll be trying to order them and set them so that they overlay my in-car footage somehow. Quite surprised I didn't get an off-track there at that point. I was definitely a lot further onto the curb than I like to be. Maybe a bit of adjustment to this setup as well. The problem is, first gear out of the hairpin feels a little bit slow. First gear through the chicanes is better than second gear in 3 out of the 4 chicanes, so it's just about finding that good mix, I think. That was close. To be honest, I don't even know if I can stream all three screens. I probably could if I go in and set the radius. That would probably broadcast all three, but I'm streaming it, capturing it 1080p and then squashing it down to 720p. I just don't think you'd see enough of the important stuff if I was to broadcast all 3 screens. So it's just broadcasting the centre monitor at the moment, but it's just on game capture mode, so it's just kind of using its defaults. I'm streaming with Open Broadcaster, which is OBS. So you think it would look better to try and put more on Probably wouldn't go to the full 6000 by 1080p, by 1080, but I would possibly be able to go to 2500, maybe bring a little bit of the side screens in. The way I've got it set up, there's not really any stop and start in the screens anyway, so I can probably do that if that's be better for you. Try and give you a little bit more of the screens to see. I'm not entirely sure how I'll do that, but I can have a look and see if it's possible, and if it is possible I can try and give you maybe just a quarter of each side screen, just to give you some more mirror and more idea of what's going on the apex. At 9.5 minutes left now. We don't really seem to have any challenge from the rear. There's not really anywhere for us to gain up front. But it looks like third place maybe the best place we can finish here, but with minimal practice I'm quite happy with the third place. My times have been consistent. Not really had any big moments, so you know, don't count my chickens before they hatch, but yeah, it looks like a solid third. Try and not interfere too much with these McLarens that are battling for first place. There's not a lot of the race there, so don't want to make anybody angry at me. Maybe be able to make a pass in this guy into turn one. You can't see it happening here. It's silly. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, I wasn't aware of any downtime, not as of yet, but if there is, maybe it's good news. Maybe they're implementing the rough for us, so. tyres are getting a bit old now, a little bit funky. And a bit of oversteer into lock up, sorry, into turn 2, and then a little bit of oversteer on the throttle. So. I've not seen that, so that's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that. I'm on Twitter if you want to give me a follow. You can give that a retweet. I can have a look at that. It's Sim Racing Dalton. It's the same as the Twitch ID. You give me a follow on Twitter. I'll be posting information in regards to broadcasting times and events that I'll be broadcasting. It's a shame I didn't have it all set up on Sundays. I took part in the Neo Endurance at Bathurst in the Kia Optima. I was able to get a class win out of that after 3 hours, so that was a good race there. I would have liked to have been able to stream that, but unfortunately I wasn't. I do have the replay, so I may at some point do a stream just so I can upload the video onto YouTube, but it would have been a lot better to stream it live, get more information from the spotter and things. So. I would imagine normally they give you a little bit more notice than that on the website for downtime, but maybe they wanted to surprise everybody and get it out there. So normally there's something on the website at least to inform you of any downtime. Alright, okay, so that's alright. I've got 3 minutes left here, so about 2 laps. Plenty enough fuel. I probably could have taken less. Maybe that's the reason I'm not quite on pace with the guys up front. Maybe they're on less fuel than I am. 10 gallons is going to make pretty big. Well, it's not 10 gallons, 5 gallons. I probably could have only lost 2, maybe 3 gallons, so wouldn't have made a massive difference. So if the rough's out tonight, I'll be trying to get some streaming of that tonight. The only problem I have is that it's also my anniversary, so I've got to go and cook for the wife and obviously make her evening nice. So it may be quite a bit later on that I manage to get on and do some streaming of the rough. Germany's +1, I believe. I believe with no BST in play that we're currently London 0. So Germany will, I believe, only be +1. I'm not. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Michael. I believe as well that in this race I've taken one incident, which was a 2x right at the start. I believe the guy on the inside, maybe it was my fault, but it seemed like the guy on the inside didn't quite allow himself enough room coming off the apex at turn 1, running into me, and caused himself to spin. So I believe that's my only incident for this race, is a 2x from the very first corner. At the start of this I did predict that I would take a loss on the I rating in the safety rating. At the end of this now it's looking like maybe it's going to be the opposite, and I'm going to take a nice little bump from both. So I'm glad the race isn't much longer, because quite frankly these tyres are about battered. Along with myself, you know, the lack of experience, and just unable to push past 33. Yeah, I'll have a check of the replay. Like I say, maybe I didn't give him enough room, or he didn't give himself enough room. All I know is that coming out of turn 1, I got a knock on the rear left, which stung me a little bit, but I was already starting to turn into the right-hander, so the correction was pretty easy. But I did see in my mirror that he spun round. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that was me or whether that was him. I'll have a look on the replay. You know, if it's me, hands up. I don't like to take people out, but sometimes in these races it's quite tight at the start and you don't have an awful lot of room. So that was a good race, good finish. Pretty uneventful. There wasn't an awful lot going on other than passing lap cars, which is a shame. You know, I always like to race, but it's always good as well to get a good finish for almost nothing.